Our dear Senior 5 students, I welcome you all at Light Academy Secondary School e-learning platform. I'm Segwira Jimmy. I salute you all. I'm going to take you through Senior 5 Mathematics Paper 2. And today we are going to continue with our topic, index numbers. And we are starting with simple aggregate index. This refers to the change in all the variables as a whole between the base and the current year. Mathematically, simple aggregate price index is equal to sum of all the prices in the current year divided by sum of all the prices in the base year, then times 100. Then simple aggregate quantum index, or we can call it simple aggregate quantity index, is summing all the quantities in the current year divided by summing all the quantities in the base year times 100. And finally, simple aggregate wage index is summing all the wages in the current year divided by summing all the wages in the base year times 100. Let us look at our first example. The table below shows the price of the beans and meat per kilogram in 2000 and 2008. We have item beans. In 2000, beans used to cost 700. In 2008, beans used to cost 1,200. And meat in 2000 used to cost 2,500. And in 2008, it used to cost 4,500. Using 2000 as the base year, find the price relatives of beans and meat. Part B, the simple aggregate price index. Our solution. Price relative is equal to Pn over P0 times 100, where Pn, that's the price in the current, divided by P0, that is the price in the base, then times 100. We shall start with beans. Price relative is equal to the price of beans in 2008, it was 1,200, that's the current, divided by the base, which is 2,000, and it used to cost 700, then multiply by 100. We come up with 171.45. Then for meat, the price of meat in the current year was 4,500, and in the base year was 200,500, then multiply by 100, giving us 180. Part B, simple aggregate price index is equal to summing all the prices in the current year divided by summing all the prices in the base year, then times 100. Now, the prices in the current year, we had beans 1,200 plus meat 4,500, then divide by the prices in the base. Beans used to cost 700 and meat used to cost 2,500. Then when you sum the numerator, you come up with 5,700. You sum the denominator, you come up with 3,200, then multiply by 100. And finally, getting 178.125. Example 2. The table below shows the price of commodities in the year 2005 and 2008 per kilogram. We have year 2005, 2008. Then rice into 5 used to cost 1,200. And then into 8 used to cost 1,800. Then sugar 1,300. Then into 8, 2,000. Posho 800. Then into 8, 1,300. Then beans into 5 used to cost 700, then into 8, 1,000. Find the price relative in 2008 using 2005 as the base year. Part 2. Simple aggregate price index into 8 using 25 as the base year. Price relative is Pn over P0 times 100. In the same way, now we pick one value at a time. This is the price for the current, this is the price for the base, multiply by 100. That means for rice, it will be 150. We do the same for sugar, 2000 divided by 1300 times 100, we come up with 153.85. Then for posho, we do the same, 1300 divided by 800 times 100, giving us 162.5. Then for beans, 1000 divided by 700 times 100, giving us 142.86. Simple aggregate price index is summing all the prices for the current divided by summing all the prices for the base times 100. Then we sum the prices, 1800 plus 2000 plus 1300 plus 1000 divided by 1200 plus 13,000 plus 800 plus 700, then finally multiply by 100. Now we come up with 6,100 over 4,000, then times 100. Finally, our final answer is 152.5. Then we advance to weighted indices. Cases considered. Here we have two cases we have to consider. The first case, when prices of the items and weights attached are given. Here we consider three situations, or we can say we consider three scenarios. The first scenario, scenario Roman number 1, when the units of the items under consideration are uniform. When the units under consideration are uniform, here we take our aggregate weighted price index being equal to summing Pn times W over summing P naught times W then times 100. Now here we are summing the product PNW, that is the price of the current times W, that column, then we sum, then the price of the base times W, that column, and then we sum, then multiply by 100. When the units of the items are not uniform. Now, in case the units under consideration are not uniform, aggregate weighted price index is equal to summing Pn over P naught times W, that column, all over summing W then times 100. Maybe I need to add a voice on these two. What do I mean by units of the item under consideration being uniform? Now, units of the items under consideration being uniform, this is a scenario whereby, say, the unit can be in kilograms. Say, take an example. In case I'm to consider measurable things like beans, I can say I'm going to have them in kilograms. Beans, rice, salt, all those items can be measured in kilograms. That means in such a case, I will have a uniform unit. But now here we have units of the items not uniform. Units of the item not uniform, we can take things like, in case my question is talking about things like accommodation, I don't know how we can unify the accommodation. I can talk of transport. Transport, you can talk in terms of number of people. Accommodation, you can talk of in terms of rooms, in terms of houses. Now there it's very hard to put a common unit. Now in case we have such items, there we say the units are not uniform. Then 3, when the price relatives and weights are given, aggregate weighted index is equal to summing price relatives times W over summing W. Now here we don't multiply by 100. Why is it that we don't multiply by 100? This price relative P is having 100 embedded in it. That's why we are just having summing PW. PW, that's a product of that column, over summing W. Example 1. Calculate the weighted price index for 1994 given the following information using 1990 as the base year. Now we have food 55, that is in 1990. Then in 1994 it was 60. Weight 4. Housing 48, that is in 1990. Then in 1994 52. Weight is 2. Transport is 16. Price is 16, that is in 1990. Then in 2000 is in 1994 is 20. Then the weight is 1. Now, if we are to observe these items, food, housing, transport, it's very hard to say that they have a common unit. Is it possible to quantify them and then say that they are with the same unit? Food, we can talk in terms of plates. Housing, we can talk in terms of houses. We can talk in terms of rooms. Transport, we can talk in terms of cars. Now here, these items we are seeing, it's very hard to say that they have the same unit. Now here they have different units. That means we are going to use the other formula whereby we are to consider different units. That aggregate weighted index is equal to summing Pn over P naught times W over summing W finally times 100. Let us see our solution. Note, the unit of food, housing, and transport are not uniform. I've already explained that. Now we are going to say weighted price index is equal to summing price in 1994 over summing price in 1990, then times 100, then everything over summing the weight times 100. 60 over 55 times 4 plus 52 over 40 times 2 plus 20 over 16 times 2, everything over sum of weights, which is 4 plus 2 plus 1, finally times 100. When you simplify that very well, the answer will be 111. Example 2. Calculate the weighted price index for the following table of price relatives and weights. Remember we said when given price relatives, we just say weighted price index is equal to summing price relatives times weight over summing weight. Now here we have food, price relative and weight. Clothes, price relative and weight. Fuel, price relative and weight. Others, price relative and weight. Rent, price relative and weight. That's our solution. We are going to have, we said it's price relative times weight, which is 118 times 40 plus 102 times 8 plus 114 times 12 plus 120 times 10 plus 110 times 30, everything divided by sum of weights, which is 10 plus 8 plus 12 plus 10 plus 30. When you simplify the numerator, you come up with 11,404. And then the denominator is 100, finally giving us 114.04 as our answer. That is our exercise. Let me give you some means. Copy that exercise. Let me hope you've completed the first question. Let us advance to the second question. Let me hope you've completed that second question as well. We advance to the third question. Let me hope you've completed putting down those three questions. Please try them out and then check whether you've understood our topic today. And today we've discussed weighted aggregate price index, and we say that is equal to summing prices, the product of prices in the current times weight over summing the product of prices in the base times weight, then finally times 100. And also we've seen the weighted aggregate price, the weighted aggregate quantity index, and we say it is equal to summing Qn over summing Q naught times 100. And also we've also discussed the weighted aggregate wage index, which is equal to summing Wn times weight over summing W naught times 100, W naught times, weighted aggregate wage index is equal to summing Wn times W over summing Wn times W, and finally times 100. Now that takes us to our second case. Next time, in our next presentation, we shall discuss case 2, when the prices and the quantities are given. Here we have two approaches, and they include, the first one is light-pace approach. Please take care. Wash your hands as many times as possible. Please, COVID will stop and we continue with our normal lessons at school. Take care.